Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be taking you through my favourite knitwear styles from EVERLANE. Now, I have a very healthy knitwear collection, and I would say that the vast majority of my knits are from EVERLANE. I find that they've got such a broad range of styles and offered in so many different colours. Now, I'm one of those people that makes use of my knitwear year round. I will dress it up for the office and I will wear it on the weekends. And given the last 2 years I've been predominantly working from home, I've mainly been reporting for duty from my desk at home in a knit. That said, I am quite picky with my knits. I tend to avoid man-made fibres where possible and will prioritise natural fibres like cashmere, merino wool for example, just because I've had a better experience with them. I find that they are more durable, they're better quality, and they're less irritable on my skin. And that said, in the past I found that knits made from natural fibres, particularly cashmere, were really only offered by sort of high-end designer labels, and they were quite unattainable in light of their price tags. Like, they were upwards of about $500 a knit. But these days there are a lot more retailers now that are offering those luxurious fabrics at reasonable prices, like EVERLANE, making it accessible to all. Now, it's worthwhile noting that I do have a relationship with EVERLANE. It's not a paid one, but they do send me PR product from time to time for me to test out and try. That said, as is my usual practice, the goal is to be as objective as possible. So let me walk you through my favourite styles. So let's kick things off with my cashmere collection, and I'm just going to start off with one of my absolute favourite styles, and that is the cashmere square turtleneck. Now, I have this in 5 colours. I've got it in camel, sage, navy, black and grey, and it's one of those styles that I find to be incredibly versatile. It's got a great cut, so it's a boxy cut with a cropped hemline, and so it sits at a really good height on my torso, and the sleeves are fitted, so it's a really great balance of proportions. The neckline is also one that I prefer, so rather than it being a fold over turtleneck, it's just sort of the one layer that sits up like a mock turtleneck, and I find that it's just sort of less busy on my neckline area. This is a style that I will just wear as is over a pair of tailored trousers or a pair of jeans. I will even tuck this into an A-line skirt, and I will belt it over a pencil skirt. It's such an effortless basic, and I've like harped on about it on my blog heaps of times. I know a lot of you have taken up my recommendations about this one, and it really is just one of those styles that I think everyone needs in their wardrobe. Now, size-wise, I have this in both the extra small and the small, and for reference, I'm usually a size Australian 8 or a US 2 when it comes to tops, and I have a preference for the size small. I think that it sits nicer, and because it's like a looser sort of fitting knit, particularly on the torso, I think that the proportions are better on me in a size small. The extra small still works, and the knit does sort of loosen with time, but I find that it's a little bit too tight around the shoulder area, and that's being nitpicky because really the size difference is quite minimal. And even though that does loosen with time, I think that the size small is a better fit overall. Now, the next style that I have to share with you is the cashmere polo, and I would say that this is one of the newer styles from EVERLANE, having only been released in the last couple of years. Again, it's offered in so many different colours. I have this in the olive, and I've also had it in the rust and a canvas colour, I believe. And it is one of those knits that is just the perfect balance between elevated and relaxed. So it has this sort of buttonless plunge, a collar which just sort of really softly sits on the neckline, and it has a relaxed fit overall on the body. Now, I've really relied on this knit heavily when working from home. I really love how the neckline sort of mimics a shirt or a blouse, and considering you can only really see this area, it really looks like I've made an effort for work, even though I'm just wearing a comfortable knit just sitting at home. Now, size-wise, I have this in a size small, and it fits me really well. Probably could have gone down to an extra small, but I think I'm just preferring sort of relaxed silhouettes these days, and I like how it fits on my torso in the larger size. And the next item that I have to show you, which relates to the cashmere polo, is the cashmere polo dress. I have this in the toasted sesame colour, and I believe that it is currently 50% off by the time I post up this video. Now, when it comes to dresses, because I'm petite, I don't want them to sort of overwhelm my frame. So rather than go for the size small, which is what I did for the knit, I read in the sizing notes that this is an oversized piece, and so I actually went for the size extra, extra small. Now the extra, extra small is okay on me, but in hindsight, I probably should have just stuck with my usual extra small size, just because one of the areas that I'm most conscious about on my body are my midsection, and I find that it is more fitted around that area than I would like. I think that in an extra small, it would be looser, I could belt it with no issues, and it wouldn't swamp me in fabric and look too oversized on me. So I would recommend that you stick with your usual size if you are looking at the dress. And to round out my cashmere favourites, it doesn't get more classic than a crew neck knit. Now I have this crew neck style in 3 different colours. I've got it in the grey sage colour block version, the navy and the black. And this has been one of my hard-working workwear core basics in my wardrobe. It's a great layering piece. I wear it on its own, I wear it tucked in, sort of worn loosely, and I stick with the size extra small in this one. I would say that the cut isn't fitted and it isn't oversized. It's sort of the perfect in between. And I feel like this is one of those classic styles that you would see offered by a lot of other retailers who also stock cashmere, like Uniqlo, and I do have some Uniqlo crew necks in my wardrobe, and so I can offer a point of comparison between the two. For me, I find the Uniqlo cashmere to be a lot thicker and fuzzier than the EVERLANE cashmere, and with the Uniqlo cashmere crew necks, I actually can't wear them on their own. I need to layer it on top of a long sleeve top because I find that the wool irritates my skin, whereas the EVERLANE cashmere knits I can wear on their own as tops, and I think it comes down to the type of cashmere that they use. So EVERLANE uses like a grade A certified cashmere from Inner Mongolia, and I think that's said to be sort of more durable, less susceptible to pilling, and lasts longer. And for me, I can see that the weave on the EVERLANE cashmere is much more tightly woven in comparison to the Uniqlo. So I think if you want more of a jumper, the Uniqlo cashmere would be ideal, but if you wanted more of a hybrid jumper slash top, the EVERLANE cashmere is a great option. Okay, so let's move on to the next category, and that is merino wool, and I have a couple of styles to show you. Firstly, I have this ribbed merino tee. Now, I love this style. It's a newer style from EVERLANE, I believe, and it's a real nod to the 70s, I must say. So it's fitted throughout the body, and it's got these lovely fitted sleeves that sit a little bit longer than a regular tee. It's got that classic sort of crew neck, and it's got this contrast stitching detailing at the hem. Now, I've taken a size small in this top, and it has slightly loosened with wear, and so I think that I probably could have benefited from getting a size extra small in this. That said, the sizes do sell out really quickly, and I think at the time the extra small wasn't available. But this top I find is like the top that I've relied on when the weather is like a little bit in between. It's not cold, it's not warm, and particularly in Sydney, the weather lately has had a lot of trouble making up its mind. So even though I sort of consider this to be more of a transitional piece, I've still been wearing it in the summer, and that's thanks to just sort of the random chilly summer days that we've had. And it really is just the perfect balance between dressy and casual. I really love it. And the next item that I have to share with you, which is from the felted merino wool line, is this double-breasted cardigan. Now, I think this can be best described as part retro grandpa cardigan and another part double-breasted black blazer, and I'll explain to you why. So because of the way that they've treated the wool, it's really cushy and plushy and quite thick, and so when worn, it naturally provides a little bit of structure. And so when I'm wearing this cardigan with dressier pants, and these days it's denim because I'm mainly in track pants now that I'm working from home, I find that it actually gives off the illusion that I'm wearing a dressy jacket, like a blazer, because it really is quite stylish with the crossover collar, and it looks like a double-breasted blazer without the collar. And naturally being black, it's a dressier colour, and it just looks like a dressier piece. There are other colours that are offered, like a cream and sort of a taupey colour, and I think that they naturally look a little bit more casual just because they are lighter tones. But I feel like any of the colours offered would complement any neutral wardrobe. Size-wise, I went with a size extra small, and this is cut to an oversized fit. It has a slightly cropped hem, billowy sleeves that do come in at the cuffs, but if you are interested in this piece, I would recommend that you stick with your usual size. The next item that I have to show you is my felted merino zip-up sweat. And just like the double-breasted cardigan that I just shared, this is really oversized and deliciously chunky and soft. Now this style, I have to say, it reminds me a lot of the 90s because I had a very similar style zip-up jumper when I was growing up. And I remember I bought it myself with pocket money that I saved over weeks, and I bought it from Miss Shop in Maya, or Grace Brothers as it was known at the time. And it was like my dressy special sweat that I would wear on special occasions when boys would be around, because it was from Grace Brothers, and Grace Brothers was just not Target. Size-wise, I have the extra small, and it's still really oversized, but it hits at a really nice length at the hem, and it's got the oversized sleeves with the fitted cuffs. This one comes in a heap of lovely neutral tones. I have this in this lovely sort of taupe mauvey colour, but there are a heap of colour options as well that are just as lovely. Okay. And the last item that I have to share with you is the oversized alpaca crew, and this has been a really lovely surprise for me. Admittedly, I haven't had the greatest experience with Everlane's alpaca in the past. I've previously tried their alpaca tee and their alpaca cardigan. The alpaca tee I found was really irritable on my skin because it was designed to be worn as a top, and the alpaca cardigan was cut to a really strange fit that it just didn't work on my frame. Whereas I find that the alpaca crew is just a really lovely jumper. Now the oversized crew neck is designed to be a jumper, not a top, which is probably why I get along with it so well, because I don't wear it so that it actually sits on my skin. I'm always wearing it layered under a long sleeve top. And I must say, I really love this one, particularly styled in cold weather outfits, because the alpaca wool adds a really lovely textural component to the outfit, and it just looks and feels deliciously soft. The cut of this is a great one too. It's got a chunkier neckline, it's got a generally oversized body, but it sort of comes in at the cuffs and the hem. The sleeves are slightly billowy. It's a really stylish piece. This one is also cut to an oversized fit, and I sized down to an extra small, and as you can see, it's still a really relaxed fit on me, and so I would recommend that if you have your eye on this one, that you size down. Okay, and that's a wrap on my favorite knitwear styles from Everlane. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!